That indeed, because of government abuse, government misuse of its power, and we know it in all of our events, or all of our daily lives now. We have a Congress that has passed a bill that now gives immunity to the 5 major communications companies that have been spying on us for 5 years. And the Congress gives immunity to criminal acts, known criminal acts. We've got a legislation, as Lon was saying, legislation that will mean a blockade on a country. The sanctions that we have on Iran right now, plus a blockade, and they can call it anything they want, but essentially that's what it is. It's a blockade on the people of Iran. Now, are we going to put up with that sort of stuff? We should not, and we cannot. We've got to protest. So I'm so proud of you all that went to the Congresswoman's office today to say, take your name off that thing. Take your name off that list. You know, and it does work. There was Congressman Clay of Missouri that took his name off that sanctions thing because his constituency just deluged him with emails saying, you better get your name off that. The old Code Pinkers decided they would form a navy. They got some kayaks and some canoes and a little rubber dinghy to blockade the houseboat that Congressman Ackerman from New York, who's the primary sponsor of that piece of legislation, he lives on a little houseboat on the Potomac River. And lo and behold, they found out where it was. It was one of his aides that coughed up the information. Oh yeah, the congressman he lives down at the marina, down on the Potomac River. Well, with that piece of information, then you can start finding out. And indeed, when the congressman woke up that morning, there was a naval blockade on his houseboat. But then what you all have been doing here in Dallas, I mean, I am so proud of you, and I was sorry I couldn't be here when you took on ExxonMobil. I mean, when the stockholders, the shareholders meeting was here and you all were out there to protest. I mean, all of these are important, that it is known that the people of America are not being silent, that we're not sitting back doing nothing, that we are there, that we are the thorn under the saddle of all of these guys. And it won't be just this administration. I mean, we've got to be ready. We've got to gear up, get the thorns ready for the next administration, no matter who it is. If it's John McCain, I mean, double the thorns. If it's Barack Obama, I mean, he doesn't get a pass. We do need to, as we're seeing it, we're in for the long haul now. It's not a short series of events as we had hoped, that the war in Iraq would be finished very quickly, that the war in Afghanistan quickly, a war potentially in Iran. Many people very concerned that the Bush administration, before they leave office, will do something, that they will have military operations on Iran. Us trying to prevent that, trying to put pressure on our congressmen and women to say, stand up to that guy, to put pressure on him to say, this is not acceptable to the American public, to say there's some accountability somewhere, that somehow we are going to have accountability, that indeed these illegal wars, these tortures, these flights, extraordinary rendition, that the Military Commissions Act, the No Child Left Behind, the Patriot Act, I mean, you name it, the list is a mile long, that somehow we have to have accountability. Then how do you have accountability after an administration closes its term in office? Is it a role of the citizens of our country to push for accountability after an administration leaves? Do we want to spend the energy to do that? Well, I say we do. The issue of sexual assault and rape of women in the military. It turns out 1 in 3 women in our military are sexually assaulted and raped during the time they're in there. These are figures that are coming from the Veterans Administration. As women of my age, the Vietnam era age, are going to the VA for treatment. And one of the questions that they ask now is, were you ever sexually assaulted or raped while you were in the military? And women my age are now saying, you know, I never did tell anybody, but I was. And the statistics are coming back that 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted and raped. I mean, these are the statistics that really ought to go above every recruiting station. that it should be truth in recruiting, shouldn't it? These are cases that we're working on that to me are part of this pervasive atmosphere that we now have in our government and tragically in our military, that you can do anything you want to and you can get away with it. So these are things I hope that you will remember, that you will think about as we keep the fight going, our fight to end these wars, to use diplomacy in a country such as Iran, 3 times larger than Iraq is, a country that has not been devastated in the last 10 years by wars, a country that's perfectly capable of responding to the United States if we should do military operations. We've got a lot of work to do. You all are the ones that do it. No matter how tired you are, suck it up. We got work to do, and we can do it.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Let's do it faster. Happy birthday.
Troublemakers.
And Diane. Troublemakers.
Birthday to you.